Why do you doubt my judgment? Renee raised her eyebrow as she glared at Kelly. Before our previous leader passed away, he entrusted you, Ariana, and Luna to me. As your superior, you must obey my orders. But I'm no match for Kevin. Kelly lowered her head and tightly gripped the hem of her shirt. Her eyes were filled with conflicted emotions. You must do as I say and go to the brown area. That is a direct order, so I don't want to have to repeat myself again, Renee demanded. During Kevin's previous fights against Clarissa, Clyde, and Sebastian, Renee had clearly noticed Kelly's emotional fluctuation. Although she didn't know much about Kelly's connection to Kevin, how could a dignified member of the Union have anything to do with an enemy like him? Seeing that this would complicate things later on, she deliberately wanted Kelly to fight Kevin in order to test where her true loyalty lay. I want to remind you that Kevin is wearing protective body armor. Apart from his head, there's no other place on his body that can be damaged by swords or daggers, Renee warned her in a cold voice. Hearing that, Kelly suddenly raised her head and looked at Renee with a face full of fear. Didn't this mean that Kevin had to be killed? But how could she bear to do something like that? Kevin had helped her countless times before, and even gave her a few $1 billion worth of power pills. Soon, the rest period had already come to an end, and the final round of the competition was about to begin. Just as the host was about to announce the names of the finalists, Renee suddenly interrupted. There will be a last-minute substitution competing for the Union. This attracted the criticism of many people. Changing contestants on the spot was against the competition's rules. Director Silver, this doesn't conform to the rules, the referee explained haltingly. Rules? Do you want the members of the Union to be injured in the competition because of their lack of stamina? Besides, your boss, Mr. Ford, didn't object to this at all. Do you want me to call him over here? Renee asked with a condescending tone. The referee was merely a new professor at the Healing Arts School. He didn't dare to offend an esteemed leader of the Union and risk losing his job. Kelly, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and enter the arena. Under Renee's instructions, Kelly had no choice but to comply as she quickly grabbed her sword and walked towards the brown area. The host of the competition took a deep breath and announced, The final round of the competition will feature Kevin Williams, representing the Healing Arts School versus Kelly Emmett of the Union. As Kelly entered the brown area, Kevin frowned slightly as he looked at her. He then turned his head and looked up at the platform. He figured that the last-minute change had deliberately been made by Renee just to target him. Is this the so-called righteous faction? Kevin disdainfully thought to himself as he shook his head. As he channeled the energy inside his body, he noticed that his strength level now was much weaker compared to yesterday. Despite having taken the Night King's crystal pill and 2 supreme pills earlier, it was obvious that all the injuries and damage he had accumulated since the night before had not yet fully healed. You can leave now. I don't want to fight with a friend, Kevin advised Kelly in a low voice. I can't, and I won't go down without putting up a fight, Kelly replied as her body trembled. On top of everything that they had been through, she had been watching all of Kevin's battles intently today. What chance did she have against him? Then do you think you can defeat me? Kevin had never expected the Union to win the competition. He hadn't fought anyone from either the Healers Academy of the West or the Northern Institute for Natural Healing. Also, if I may ask, what does the Union stand for? It's such a short and cryptic name compared to the other schools. Shut up. Do you have a death wish or something? The Union is one of the top 10 organizations, and Director Silver is definitely someone that you can't afford to provoke, Kelly warned. Meanwhile, Kevin's friends began to discuss this awkward matchup as well. Is it just me, or is the Union's leader intentionally targeting Kevin? Dalton asked Penny and Mackenzie. What a d***. I can't believe she would do such a thing, Mackenzie fumed. At first, Kevin's ability to enter the final round had given her a glimmer of hope to save her grandfather, but she didn't expect the Union to be so shameless in pitting him against Kelly. Penny let out a long sigh and reached out to hug Mackenzie, wanting to comfort her. The situation was so dire, but all they could do now was to watch and wait for the final outcome. The fate of this matchup should be a win for any of the top 10 organizations. Anyway, the final victor will be the one who will be sent to kill that thief Roger Knott. It might as well be a cop with lots of experience. So for old time's sake, why don't you just forfeit? I don't want to have to fight you for this, Kelly implored. On the way to the Brown area, Kelly had already come to a decision. Although Kevin had helped her many times, she had been with the union since she was a teenager. Being with them for more than 10 years already, she practically grew up with them and had been taught many things by her mentor, Renee. Thus, her friendship with Kevin seemed very small in comparison, and she was willing to sacrifice that in order to prove her loyalty, as well as to make a name for herself as the one who killed Roger Knott. Besides, if Kevin agreed to forfeit, Kelly figured that she would find an opportunity after the competition to make amends and treat him to a meal as compensation. Kelly, come on now. Did you really have the nerve to say those words? Then why don't you give me the chance instead? Anyway, you already have the union behind you, and there will be more opportunities for you to become famous in the future, Kevin retorted. So you're saying that there's no room for negotiation and you insist on fighting for it? Kelly asked as she held her sword tightly and pointed it at Kevin. I never imagined that you would one day point a sword at me like this. Kevin had yet to draw the night dagger from his pocket. Even at this awkward moment, he still treated Kelly as a friend. I don't know what misunderstanding you have with Director Silver, but as a friend, I advise you to apologize to her. Although you've proven yourself to be a worthy competitor today, there are still a lot of people in this world who are stronger and more experienced than you, Kelly advised him. When he heard her say that, Kevin suddenly looked up to the sky and laughed. If you want to fight, then just say so. Why do you have to say such things to pretend that you're being nice? You're only fooling yourself. Overhearing their exchange, Sherwin Blair suddenly stood up and shouted loudly, Kevin, what kind of a man are you? You're actually going to attack my fiancé? I thought you were just a useless son-in-law, but it seems that you're a backstabbing friend as well. Kevin, even if you win, you'll still be a piece of trash for taking advantage of a respected police officer in our community, Mike sneered. First it was Clarissa. Now you're about to fight Officer Emmett? Do you think that beating up women will make you more of a man? Lionel fumed. Don't underestimate Officer Emmett. She's very strong and as tough as nails. I hope she humiliates you in front of everyone, Luther added. As always, Kevin didn't care what the crowd thought of him. He simply blocked out all the noise and let their voices drown each other out.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.